My beloved child, listen carefully. Your greatest danger is not the storm, but the silence. You haven't fallen in one great collapse. You've been drifting, little by little, without even noticing. What once set your soul on fire is fading into quiet compromise, and the enemy is content to let you sleep while your spirit withers. But I will not stay silent any longer. Stay with me until the end, for this word may be the very awakening that saves you from lukewarmness before it's too late. You are the chosen one, not just to live differently, but to live close to me. That title doesn't exempt you from battle. It guarantees that I fight alongside you. You once felt my presence in every breath, but now your soul feels dry and you blame your circumstances. I ask you, when did you trade the life of your soul for things that do not last? When did you begin to take my silence as proof that I have forsaken you? I have not left. You have stepped away from where I've been waiting. You are not lost because of a lack of guidance, but because your longing has faded. You know my name, but you no longer live in holy fear of me. My dear child, do not mistake quietness for a confirmation that you are living in my will. There are times when silence is not peace from heaven, but emptiness from a soul that no longer hungers for me. I see you are no longer contending as you once did, no longer crying out in prayer, no longer wrestling between light and darkness. This is not because you have won the battle, but because you have stopped fighting. You call it stability, but what I see is the silence of a heart no longer sensitive to my presence. I do not say this to condemn you, but to awaken you from the slumber that is covering your soul. You think that because there is no hardship, no pain, and no challenge, I must be pleased. But child, sometimes the calm you feel is not from me. It is because the enemy no longer sees you as a threat. He does not need to attack one who has stepped out of the battlefield. He only needs to make you believe that everything is fine while your spiritual life quietly withers. And then you stop seeking me because nothing feels urgent. You stop repenting because nothing feels wrong. But that is when a silent death begins, invisible to others, but I see it. You once longed for me with your whole heart, but now you go through your days as if you no longer need me. I hear you say, I still believe in God, still go to church, still doing okay. But child, I did not call you to just be okay. I called you to live in fullness, in the blazing fire of the Holy Spirit, in a life that bears eternal fruit. Compromise makes no loud noise, but it eats away at your soul bit by bit. You grow accustomed to not hearing me, not asking me, and not searching your heart. And the moment you no longer see any danger, that is the most dangerous moment of all. I once saw your life burning brightly. I saw your eyes light up when you heard my word. I heard you pray with tears, with yearning, with trembling faith. But now what I hear most is silence. Not the holy kind, but the silence of a soul that has stopped responding. Child, if once I stirred you through sorrow, now I long to awaken you through love. Don't let the world's false comfort lull you to sleep. Don't trade your soul for a life that is easier to live. Remember my words in Revelation 3:17. You say, I am rich, I have acquired wealth and do not need a thing. But you do not realize that you are wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. I do not want you to live under the illusion of fullness while losing true life. Real peace is not quiet drifting. It is a purposeful life filled with my presence and a fire in your soul that never dies. My precious child, true peace is not prolonged comfort, but rest in the midst of battle. You used to think that the absence of trials meant I was near, clearing your path and making things smooth. But that is not always the case. Sometimes the absence of challenge doesn't mean you're walking in my will. It means you've stopped walking. The enemy doesn't need to do much when you've already stopped. The silence of the battlefield is not always a sign of victory. At times, it is stagnation slowly overtaking your heart. The peace I give does not paralyze you. It does not cause you to forget that the world is still in need of light. True peace will calm your heart, but awaken your spirit. It makes you sensitive to what I am doing, whether in people's circumstances or deep within you. If the peace you feel causes you to stop praying and to stop examining your heart, then it is not from me. It is a soft blanket of darkness wrapped around you, lulling you to sleep while your soul drifts away from life. Remember the woman in the Bible, Potiphar's wife? She lived in complete comfort, status, power, and wealth, lacking nothing. But in that peace, she lost her fear of me. She became so spiritually blind that she sought to destroy holiness when she saw it. Joseph, on the other hand, lived in bondage, yet his heart blazed with my presence. She lived in a palace but walked in darkness, seduced by false peace into choices that destroyed her. My child, not everyone who appears peaceful is walking with me. I give peace, but it is a peace that trembles before my holiness, that shudders at sin, that discerns even the smallest deception. You will not sit still when injustice prevails. You will not ignore a cold heart. You will not stay silent when another soul is crying out. True peace sharpens you. It does not numb you. It stirs you to action, to intercede, to repent, and to obey. It awakens. It does not soothe. It increases your hunger for me. It never leaves you feeling full enough. My child, I want you to live in peace, but not the false kind the world offers. I do not want you lost in comfort so deep that you stop seeking me. I give you rest, but rest in me, not in ease. I give you silence, but the silence of preparation and alertness, not of complacency. Do not mistake stillness as my companionship if your heart is no longer listening for my voice. Lukewarmness does not always begin with a grand act. It rarely arrives like a storm. It comes like drops of water seeping through cracks. One morning you wake up late and think, it's okay if I don't pray today. One time you hear my words stir within you, but you dismiss it because you're too busy. One day you avoid repentance because you don't want to face yourself. And so every small compromise, every seemingly harmless decision begins to create a distance between you and me. The enemy is not in a hurry. He doesn't need to pull you into darkness in a day. He only needs you to stop moving toward me. If you stand still in your spiritual walk, you are already drifting. He is subtle. He won't make you outright reject me. He will only plant small doubts, slight delays, and gentle laziness. He'll make you think missing prayer today is no big deal, that skipping the word for a week changes nothing. But child, that is when your soul begins to quietly slip away from the light. Remember my word in Hebrews 2:1. We must pay the most careful attention, therefore, to what we have heard, so that we do not drift away. Drifting makes no noise. It gives no clear sign. You don't feel it right away. But one day you wake up and realize your heart no longer responds to my voice as before. You hear a sermon and your soul no longer stirs. You read scripture and see no light. You pray with your lips, but your heart is far from me. That is the sign of lukewarmness, not because of one great sin, but because of many small compromises over time. I see you and I remember the fire that once burned in your eyes for me. I remember your hands lifted high in total surrender. I remember the words you once spoke. No matter what happens, I won't let go of God. But my child, compromise doesn't demand that you leave me all at once. It only whispers, just once won't hurt. And if you believe that long enough, your heart will slowly grow numb without you even noticing. The passion you once had becomes only a memory. And I, the one who was once everything to you, have now been pushed into a quiet corner of your busy life. You are chosen not to live with a faith that's just enough, not to drift along in the gray zone of compromise. You were called to live in fullness with a fire that never goes out. Don't let the small things dim the light within you. Don't call delay wisdom when it is truly hesitation and obedience. Examine your heart, my child. Let me shine light into the corners you've ignored. For I do not condemn you, I long to restore you. But you must recognize this: no compromise is harmless, and no delay leaves the soul untouched. My child, danger doesn't always come through pain. Sometimes it comes wrapped in the feeling that everything is fine. When you no longer feel hunger for my word, for my presence, for righteousness and transformation, you are not strong, you are withering. I did not give you a life of just enough. I created you to burn bright. If the flame inside you no longer burns, then your spiritual life is fading little by little in silence. You think that stability is a sign of maturity, but not all stability is a blessing. A life no longer torn between darkness and light may be a life that has stopped resisting. If you no longer ache for the lost, if my word no longer stirs your heart, if someone's suffering no longer moves you, then my child, it's not because you've become more mature. It's because the fire in you has grown cold. I remember when you wept, not because life was hard, but because your heart broke before me. I remember those sobs. I remember the light in your eyes when you understood a single verse. I remember the trembling hands that offered your whole self as a living sacrifice. But now you walk through your days without seeking me like before. You say everything is fine, but I see a dangerous kind of calm where there is no struggle, no hunger, no faith stepping beyond the comfort zone. Only a spiritual slumber that is eating away at you from the inside. Revelation 3:16, because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. My child, this is not anger speaking. This is the heartbreak of a father watching his child drift away, living halfway, standing between two shores, no longer burning, but not quite fallen either. I cannot use a lukewarm soul to shake the world. I need you to blaze like a lamp on a hill, not because I need anything from you, but because you will lose your true identity if you live without the fire. Do not accept a life without longing. Do not call it normal when your heart has grown cold. You are the chosen one, which means there is a fire from heaven inside you, a sacred calling, a heart that cannot rest while the world is in pain. If you lose that, then you are not living. Your soul is slowly dying day by day. My child, you are the chosen one, not to stand on the sidelines, but to enter the battlefield shoulder to shoulder with me. This title is not just a sweet calling, it is a responsibility. I did not place that name on you as decoration. I gave it to awaken you to the purpose you were born for. While the world is unraveling, while souls are being lost, I need you to be awake. I need you to understand that the spiritual battle still rages, not with swords and weapons, but with truth and lies, light and darkness, faith and fear. If no one else wakes you, I will, and sometimes I won't do it gently. I will shake you through disruptions you didn't expect. A closed door, a broken plan, someone walking away, a shattered dream. This is not because I've abandoned you, but because I cannot let you sleep through a battlefield. I love you too much to leave you in the illusion that everything is fine, while the enemy is quietly stealing your soul piece by piece. You say you're tired. I know, but I didn't call you to a comfortable life. I called you to shape generations, to stand firm in truth when the world trembles, to intercede for those who don't yet know how to pray, to believe on behalf of those who no longer dare to hope. You cannot sleep while your comrades are fighting. You cannot stay silent while lies are spreading. You cannot stand on the sidelines when your very life is part of the great plan I am unfolding. Don't let false peace make you miss your true destiny. Peace without responsibility is a trap. I need you awake, not just in moments of worship, not just in emotional highs, but every day. Awake in your choices, in your words, in your kindness, in your faith, in your mercy, in every unseen act that no one notices but I do. My child, don't forget, I don't need you to be strong to use you. I need you to be awake. The chosen do not live by convenience, but by my presence. They don't walk by feelings, but by faith. You are not just a child. You are the warrior I have called by name. Rise up, arm yourself with truth. Be steadfast, for you do not fight alone. I, the one who chose you, go before you, fight beside you, and will lead you to the destiny I prepared from the very beginning. My beloved child, you think I seek from you a flawless life, that I expect you to always get it right, to always be strong, to overcome every temptation without faltering. But my child, what I long for is not perfection. I do not require from you a spotless spiritual resume. I seek one thing alone, a true heart returning to me, even if broken, even if stained, even if too weak to stand, but still choosing to come back. Perhaps you think I expect too much. Perhaps you have blamed me or yourself for failing to live up to those expectations. But my child, I have never loved you based on how well you perform. If my love were dependent on your achievements, it would have vanished long ago. But my love for you does not come from your worthiness. It comes from me. And because it comes from me, there is nothing in you that can make me take it back. No failure, no season of weakness, no stain from the past can erase the love I have for you. I knew you would fall. I saw every stumble before it happened, but I did not choose you because I thought you'd always stand. I chose you because I knew that even after 1,000 falls, you would still have the strength to turn back. And that, my child, is what makes heaven rejoice. I don't count your falls. I remember every tear you cried to me, every whisper of forgive me, every drop of sorrow when your own weakness broke your heart. But my child, don't let guilt keep you in the shadows. Don't let shame convince you that I no longer want you. Sin is not the place I created for you to dwell. It is a wrong path, not a final destination. It may have led you astray, but it has no power to define you. You are not your sin. You are the one I love, even when you no longer believe you deserve to be loved. There were times when you thought I was disappointed in you, that you had made me sad, that I had turned my face away. But if you truly understood the depth of my love, you would know there has never been a single moment I stopped watching over you. I have never stopped hoping in you, never stopped waiting. My love is not like the love of the world, where you must earn it to keep it. My love did not come because you were perfect, and it will not disappear when you are weak. The moment you whispered my name, even in fear, in pain, in repentance, or in doubt, I was already there. You didn't have to shout nor follow a perfect ritual. Just a faint cry from your heart, and I was present. I have never been far from you, even when you thought I had abandoned you, even when you felt utterly alone. Those were the moments I carried you on my shoulders. You used to measure your worth by what you could do, achieve, or contribute, but I do not see you that way. I love you not because of what you can do for me. I love you because you are mine. A father's love is not tied to the abilities of his child. It flows from a sacred, unbreakable bond. Before you ever knew me, I knew you. Before you learned to pray, I heard your sighs. Before you understood your worth, I had already placed upon you a value that can never be taken away. You once feared that one day I might leave, that after some mistake I would turn my back on you. But hear me clearly once more. Not for a single day, not for a single moment, has my love for you ever been withdrawn. On your brightest day, I rejoice with you. On your darkest night, when you want to disappear, I still hold you close with an invisible thread. That thread is grace. Grace does not ask, "Are you worthy?" It simply whispers, "Come home." My child, if you are in a dark place, do not stay there out of shame. If you carry a stain too heavy to speak of, you do not have to hide it from me. I see it all, and I remain. I am not shocked by your sins. I do not break my promises because you took a step backward. I am the unchanging one. My love is not swayed by your emotional highs or lows. I am still the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. You may think you've gone too far, done too much wrong, or forfeited the right to return. But beloved, there is no distance too great for my love to reach, no pit so deep that my hand cannot find you, no mistake too large to eclipse my grace. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Returning is not something you must earn permission for. It is what I long for you to choose, because with me, you are home, not a place of judgment, but of embrace, healing, and new beginnings. Do not let the voices in your head convince you that I've changed my mind about you. Do not let the silence of hard days make you think I am gone. I still love, still wait, still call. Not to condemn, but to restore. Not to point out your failures, but to wipe away your tears. Not to remind you of what went wrong, but to whisper, "You still belong to me." And you know heaven does not erupt in joy when the righteous stand tall, but when a single lost soul returns home. I do not wait for you in shining garments. I wait for you even if you come limping with torn clothes, muddy feet, tear-filled eyes, and a trembling whisper. Father, that to me is the most beautiful homecoming. My beloved child, there are moments in life's darkness when you ask, "Lord, are you still there?" You cannot hear me, cannot feel my breath, and think you're walking alone in a barren desert. But child, those unseen footsteps, those were when I was carrying you. Not because you were strong, but because you had no strength left. And in the very moment you could no longer move, I came closest, not to rebuke, but to embrace you with unchanging love. You didn't see me weeping with you, but I did weep in those nights when you buried your sobs into your pillow. I was right there when you forced a smile while your heart was breaking. I was the one who saw what you never said. I did not turn away from your pain. I did not ignore your brokenness. Not a single tear has fallen without my notice. Not a single crack in your heart has escaped my tender touch. You are never alone, not in the crisis, not in the silence, not in the confusion, not for 1 second. You once asked me why there is so much suffering. You thought I was the source of pain. But no, dear one, pain does not come from me. It flows from a world twisted away from its original purpose. But I, the one who formed you, can use even the worst things to birth goodness. When fire burns through your life, it's not to destroy, but to refine. When pressure weighs on you, it's not to crush, but to forge a strength you didn't know you had. In every loss, I am reshaping you into a child who does not crumble, but matures through sorrow. You are not being punished. My cross has taken all punishment. What you are enduring is not judgment, it is preparation. You are being refined in the fire for greater glory. The wounds you carry are not signs I have forgotten you. They are doorways through which I will touch others through you. Because where you once fell, you will understand and lift up those who are now falling. You are not surviving to merely exist. You are surviving to become comfort, a voice, a witness of my faithfulness. I know your heart sometimes doubts itself. You look at others, then lower your head. You compare your life to theirs and feel small, inadequate, unworthy. But child, you are not a mistake. You are a masterpiece crafted by my own hands. Before your form took shape in your mother's womb, I already saw you. Every detail in you bears the mark of wisdom, love, and sacred purpose. No one can replace you in the role I've assigned. No one else carries the exquisite blend of weakness and glory I wove into you. You are not a copy. You are a one-of-a-kind creation. Every heartbeat of yours echoes in heaven. Every small choice, every quiet effort, every whispered "I still believe" causes angels to pause and listen. I don't need you to be perfect. I just need you to be faithful. And I am proud of you, not because you always get it right, but because you never give up, because you rise after every fall, because you choose to return to me instead of running away. That stirs heaven's heart. Do not let anyone tell you you're invisible. In my eyes, you are always the center of my heart. Not for a moment do I forget your name. Nothing about you is too small for my care. I don't just accept your existence, I delight in you. I rejoice when you smile, when you extend forgiveness, when you quietly choose what is right even when no one sees. You bring joy to me simply by being yourself, fully alive in your heart. You make heaven glad, and even when you don't feel it, my love is like the ocean, unchanging. Whether you stand on the shore or dive deep below, even when you no longer respond to me like before, I still wait. Not with a gaze of blame, but with open arms. I know you're not always strong. I know there are days you tremble, but I don't ask you to be an unscarred warrior. I only want you to come back so I can dust off your feet, heal your wounds, and remind you, you are still mine, my dear one. You are not defined by your past. You are not imprisoned by your mistakes. You don't have to accomplish anything to earn more of my love, nor can you do anything to make me love you less. My love for you doesn't rise and fall with your behavior. It stands firm on my unchanging nature. And that nature is love. A love that dies, a love that endures, a love that never lets go, never tires, and never conditions. A love that bled to set you free. So, beloved, stop running from me. Stop holding on to shame, guilt, or the fear that you're not good enough. I don't see you through the lens of what you've done. I see you through the eyes of the one who redeemed you at the highest cost. And when I look, I see a child learning to grow, to walk by faith, and to love themselves again through my love. If today your heart is weary, sit by my feet. If you feel lost, hold my hand. If you think you're too unclean to draw near, let me wash your feet with grace. You never have to walk alone. You never have to carry that weight by yourself. I am here, always here, and I'm not going anywhere. I have begun a good work in you, and I will bring it to completion, not by your strength, but by my faithfulness. Let my love soften what has become hard. Let my kindness pull you from the pit of doubt. Let my truth replace the lies you once believed about yourself. And remember, though everything else may change, I do not. My child, I hear your cries to hear me more clearly. You say, Lord, speak, show me the way. I don't want to walk without you. And I, your Father, always listen. But while you wait for my voice to thunder like lightning, I am still whispering gently. I do not force my way through the noise you've allowed into your soul. I do not shout to compete with the voices you've been chasing. I do not contend with screens, social media, or the praise of the world. I wait for you to silence everything until it's just me. You say you want me to speak, yet your heart is still crowded with comparison, anxiety, expectations, busy schedules, and dreams not yet filtered through me. You've let other voices speak in my place, and when I am silent, you assume I've left. No, child, I am still here. Still whispering, still waiting. Come to me like a tired child running into a father's arms. Lay down the things that weigh your soul. I know some things seem harmless, those entangling relationships, worldly desires, the things you think you need for validation. But child, when your heart is full of these, how can there be room for me? Cleanse your heart. Not because I demand perfection, but because you need the space to fully sense my presence. You do not need the approval of others to be whole. I have sealed you with everlasting love. I have declared you chosen, beloved, and my own. You do not need to compete with the world's invisible standards, because everything you've been searching for out there, I've already said to you. You are mine, and that is enough. But you only hear that in the stillness, in the sacred space where you let go of everything else to listen to me. I have places to lead you, promises already prepared. But I don't only give you the destination. I long to shape you so you can carry the promise with strength. You want blessings to come quickly. But I know if your roots aren't deep, what I give might become a burden instead of a gift. So before I open doors, I plant roots. Before I bring you into harvest, I make sure you have the depth to remain steadfast in abundance. You see your current place as a wilderness. You feel alone, lost, and directionless. But child, the wilderness is fertile soil for spiritual preparation. It is where no one praises you, no one applauds your faithfulness. No one sees your tears, but I do, and I am using it all to refine you. I did not bring you here to punish. I brought you here to teach you to trust me when there is nothing else to hold on to. Remember, I do not forget what belongs to me. I prune what I love. Every vine that bears fruit is cared for, not with soft caresses, but with cutting away so the fruit may grow stronger, larger, and more beautiful. Likewise, when I let things fall away from your life, it is not loss, it is freedom. I am removing what hinders you. I am peeling away habits, relationships, and dreams that no longer belong to the season I'm preparing you for. Do not mistake silence for abandonment. I have never forgotten you. Do not confuse delay with denial. I have never withdrawn my promise, but I love you too much to give you something great before your heart is ready to hold it. I see your eagerness, your longing, your restlessness. But child, haste is not the mark of faith. Peaceful waiting is. Sometimes I wait, not because I'm unready, but because you are. And I am patient with you, like the potter who never gives up on the clay in his hands. I don't abandon the work midway. I don't test you then walk away. I finish what I begin, but I will not rush. You are not a mass-produced item. You are a handcrafted masterpiece, deliberate, unhurried, and infinitely valuable. You will not remain in this season of preparation forever, but let the wilderness do its work. Let the silence sharpen your spiritual sensitivity. Let the absence of applause teach you that the only affirmation you truly need is mine. When you learn this, you will no longer be dependent on anything external to feel enough. And then the blessing will come not to fill a void, but to add to the fullness you have already found in me. My child, do not fear the quiet. Do not fear the emptiness. Do not fear the slowing down. For it is in this very pause that I am doing my deepest work within you. And when the day comes that I open the door, you will enter not just with readiness, but with a heart shaped by my very presence. And then, when what you have long awaited finally arrives, you will not say, "At last I've achieved it." You will say, "Thank you for not giving this to me too soon, when I wasn't mature enough to carry it." You will not merely receive, you will be able to hold it. You will not simply step in, you will remain. You will not only be blessed, you will become the blessing. My beloved one, yes, there will be battles, there will be tears, there will be long nights when your soul feels torn between faith and doubt. There will be days you want to give up, when every voice inside you screams, "Stop, there's no more hope." But remember this, I have overcome the world. The battle you are fighting is not leading you to victory. It begins from the victory I have already won. You are not fighting to be approved. You are fighting because you are chosen, not to earn love, but because you were already loved. I see your heart yearning for clarity. I know how you long to hear me say plainly, "This is the way." I know you crave the light at the end of your dark path. I know you're afraid of losing your way, of making the wrong choice, of losing what I've given you. But child, I am not calling you to live by feelings or by sight. I am calling you to live by faith. And faith, dear one, does not always come with a sense of certainty. It will not always make you feel strong. It will not always fill you with confidence. But faith is trusting me enough to keep walking even when the map disappears in your hands. And all that remains is my hand. Hold on to my hand when you can't see the road. Trust me when I say no, not because I want to deny you good things, but because I am protecting you from the unnecessary. Trust me when I say wait, not because I am delaying, but because I am preparing. And when I say go, do not fear the unknown ahead, for I have already gone before you. You will never regret obeying me. Not once. You think I only accept the beautiful parts of you. But child, I am the one who sees even what you try to hide. I am not afraid of your doubts. Bring them to me. Don't conceal them. I am not hurt by your anger. I do not turn away when you rage from pain, disappointment, or heartbreak. Tell me everything. No filters, no polish. I am your father. There is no word from your lips too heavy for me to bear. I am not a distant, cold deity seated on high. I drew near. I stepped down. I lived. I wept. I was betrayed. I was rejected. I bore the deepest pain so you would never have to suffer alone. When you hurt, no, I do not watch from afar. I step in with you. When your heart is torn from loss, I am there, holding the fragments together with my very presence. You are never alone in your tears, for I once wept for you in Gethsemane. You once dreamed of being used for something great. You thought, one day when I'm big enough, strong enough, skilled enough, then God will use me. But child, I am using you now. Every time you choose to forgive, though your heart still bleeds, that is spiritual victory. Every time you speak gently while carrying pain, that is light defeating darkness. Every day you choose love, even when you have nothing left to give, that is eternal work. Every small act, every silent prayer, every tear shed for another, I see it all, and so does heaven. The greatest works are not always done on grand stages. Much of eternity is shaped in hidden corners where no one is watching. But I who see in secret, I remember everything. Nothing done in love is ever wasted. No act of kindness is too small in my eyes. I do not measure worth by audience size, but by the faithfulness in your heart. Do not measure the impact of your life by applause. Do not judge spiritual success by instant results. An eternal seed sometimes takes a long time to sprout, but when it grows, it brings eternal life. You are sowing every day, even when you don't realize it. And I am the one who makes it grow. You remain faithful. I will complete the work I began in you. My child, the battle continues. The world will not be easy, but you are being kept. You carry the calling of light. Do not lose your fire just because no one sees it. Do not give up just because you think you're too small. You are chosen not because you are strong enough, but because I have chosen to stand with you, my beloved. Don't keep running, not from me and not from yourself. I've seen you wearied by the struggle to become someone else. A version you thought would make others love you, help you accept yourself. But in that running, you've silenced the true voice within, the one I placed in your soul from the beginning. You were created in my image, not the distorted image formed by society's expectations, not the one constrained by your past or your fears, but one bearing life, eternity, and dignity straight from heaven. You are not a misplaced puzzle piece. You are part of an eternal plan. And because I breathed my breath into you, there remains within you an unshakable call, the call to come home. Have you noticed that no matter what you achieve, something still feels missing? Sometimes you think you need a new job, a new love, a new turning point, but in the end, the emptiness remains. That's because you're trying to fill a space made only for me. Nothing but me can bring rest to your soul. No one but me can make you whole, because only I know how you were truly formed. I don't love a better version of you. I love you as you are, with the unfinished parts, with the places you call broken, with the things you're afraid to face, and I am not tired of those things. I do not say, you again, I say, you're home. Sit here with me. Stop running. Don't rush to fix yourself before drawing near to me. Sit with me, even if your heart is tangled. Whisper to me, even if your tears haven't dried. I don't need your perfect prayers. I need your honest heart. I'm not moved by polished words, but by your soul calling out to me in the midnight hour. And when you come, I will remind you, this is who you are in my eyes. Not someone striving for acceptance, not someone lost, but my child, chosen, loved, and restored. Have you forgotten the beauty I placed in you? Let me show you again, not outward beauty that fades, but the inner beauty refined through tears, silent faithfulness, and the tenderness that still believes in me after everything breaks. The beauty of a soul that doesn't surrender. The kind of beauty only the fallen truly cherish. The beauty heaven celebrates even when earth overlooks it. You are never a burden, never too much, never too late. You may think you've gone too far, but in truth, you are only a whisper away. There is no distance my love cannot cross, no failure my grace cannot cover. I am the restorer. I do not only bandage wounds, I bring the dead back to life. I see the places in you that you think are forever broken, the pieces of your past buried deep, the failures you've told no one. But I do not turn away. Instead, I draw near, place my hand there, and declare this: this is where I will renew. There is no mistake I cannot turn into a life-giving message. No wound I cannot transform into a fountain of mercy. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. My child, don't waste precious years striving to earn what I already gave you from the beginning. I gave love without requiring perfection. I gave grace without needing a resume. I called you mine even when you were lost. And if it was true then, it's still true now. You were not saved because of the good you've done, but because of the love I freely poured out. Salvation is a gift, not a prize. My love is a fountain, not something to fight for. And for that reason, obedience is not a price to buy my love. It is the response, the song, the offering of a heart that has finally understood. I loved you first. Live not to earn what I've given, but to enjoy it. Walk in the assurance that you are kept in my hands, not because you are strong enough, but because I never let go. What I begin, I will finish. What I touch, I will heal. Whom I call, I will not abandon. And you, yes, you are the proof of this. I know there are days you doubt yourself, days you sigh because you still feel weak. But that is not a reason to pull away. That is when you need to come closer, not to prove anything, but to remember who you are and who I am. I am the one who never grows weary of loving you. I am the Father who waits on the porch even when you return tattered and torn. I wait not because you're worthy, but because you are mine, and you, dear one, can always come home, not with shame, but with hope. Not because you are perfect, but because I am. Not to earn anything, but to receive yourself again. Restored, beloved, made alive. Child, listen to me. Some things don't collapse in a night. Some souls don't break from one great fall, but from days spent in quiet neglect. Not a dramatic step away, but a slow drift away from the place of true life, away from the very words that once lit your soul like fire. This is not because you rebelled, but because you stopped seeking. I have spoken, and I am still speaking. But when you stop listening, my voice grows faint. Not because I moved, but because your heart grew crowded with noise. The world won't wait for you. It fills your ears with the call of ambition, fleeting desires, and endless demands. It tells you that you don't need me every day, that only when a crisis hits, only when you're really in need, should you return. But child, the soul cannot live on sudden miracles. It must be fed daily. Just as your body needs air, food, and water, your soul needs me constantly, steadily, and faithfully. When you no longer live by my word, each day becomes like another stone laid on the foundation of your heart. One day, 2 days, then a month, a year, and one day you realize you've changed. You're no longer moved by the sacrifice of the Savior, no longer trembling at the thought of holiness, no longer burdened for the lost. What once set you ablaze is now a distant memory. And in that moment you ask, Lord, where are you? I answer, I'm still here. But you have drifted from the place where I waited for you each day. You once met me in the quiet of morning, in the open pages of my word, in tearful prayers. But then you became busy. You grew tired. You postponed. You let the urgent replace the essential. and the essential me was pushed aside, not out of rebellion, but by choosing other priorities. And that choice, repeated long enough, became a habit. The habit became a lifestyle. The lifestyle became a foundation. And a foundation not built on me will collapse when the storm comes. I do not say this to guilt you. I say it to awaken you, to call you back, not with a shout, but with the urgency of a father who sees what's ahead. You cannot wait until disaster strikes to learn how to hear me. You cannot come to me as a last resort. I am not your shelter only when there's no other way. I am your dwelling place for life. Learn to seek me daily, not by impulse, but through the discipline of love. Begin again, even if it's just 5 minutes of stillness. Even when your heart feels dry, even when you feel nothing, don't wait for emotion to lead. Let faithfulness pave the way for your emotions to be restored. I see your weariness. I see how you've tried to live rightly, to do what is good, to hold on to what remains. But my child, a moral life without my presence is just an empty shell. It cannot nourish your soul. It cannot sustain you when temptation closes in. You don't need to do more. You need to draw nearer to me. Let my word return to being your daily bread, not a side dish, but your very breath, not out of duty, but from desire. And if the desire is missing, ask me to restore the hunger for the sacred in your heart. My child, the storms will come, not if, but when. And the foundation is all that will remain. When all else shakes, when everything is shifting, only the foundation will keep you standing. Do not build your life upon feelings, schedules, or assumptions. Build it on my word, for my word is unchanging, living, and powerful, the root that holds your soul steady amid the whirlwind of this age. If today you no longer hear me, do not despair. Pause. Still your heart. Return to the place where you once heard my voice clearly, the quiet place, the place of the word, the place of surrender. I am not far. I have never left. But you must step out of the noise to hear again the whisper of the one who still calls you daily. I love you, and I am still calling you, not with thunder, but with a gentle invitation. Return. Begin again. Rebuild the foundation, for I am still here. My child, the enemy is never in a hurry. He doesn't need to cause you to fall in a single moment. He doesn't show up with horns and a tail as you imagined. Instead of burning you with blatant temptation, he erodes your soul bit by bit through comfort, busyness, and things that seem harmless. He has time. He has a strategy. And the scariest part is this: he doesn't need you to rebel against me to win. He only needs you to stop moving toward me. If he can't drag you down through pain, he'll do it through convenience. He will lure you into a soft gray zone where you stop longing, stop watching, stop seeking. He doesn't shout. He doesn't threaten. He whispers quietly, steadily. He replaces the fire that once blazed within you with an overloaded to-do list, hours of mindless scrolling, a touch of boredom turned numbness, and positive encouragement with no root in truth. He doesn't bind you in chains. He distracts you. His words to you are not blatant lies, but subtle variations of truth. Things that sound like what I once said, but lacking life, lacking holiness, lacking the power of the cross. And little by little, if you are not dwelling in my presence, the fire within you dims, not because you chose to extinguish it, but because you stopped adding oil. When you no longer listen to me daily, you grow vulnerable to other voices. The clarity of right and wrong fades. Truth becomes blurred. You begin to justify things you once knew were wrong. You rationalize decisions you once firmly rejected. Your conscience isn't dead, but it's muffled by repeated small compromises. And then you don't realize you're drifting because the distance didn't come from one sharp turn, but from 1,000 subtle steps. You begin to call blessed the things I never called a blessing. You begin to admire good ideas without asking if they come from me. You begin to trust in wisdom wrapped in worldly logic, forgetting that true wisdom is the fear of the Lord. You slowly forget what I clearly said in my word, not because you are rebelling, but because you've stopped remembering. Not because you're defiant, but because you've abandoned the discipline of listening. And so you turn to yourself. You begin to rely on your reasoning, on what feels right, on what the crowd says, on what seems good, instead of testing it by eternal truth. You stop asking, you stop seeking, you stop waiting for my confirmation. Each decision made without me, no matter how small, is a brick on the path leading away from the light, and their lukewarmness disguises itself as maturity. But I speak to you today not to frighten, but to awaken. Not so you retreat in shame, thinking you've gone too far, but that you would stop in time, turn back before the fire within you goes out. For I still love you, and I will not abandon you to deception. I am stirring your heart through my silence, through the unease you feel, through the emptiness within your achievements that you thought would satisfy. My child, do not trade the ease of the present for the future I have prepared. Do not let the logic of the world replace the obedience born of the Spirit. Do not let the loud voices drown out the only whisper worth hearing. And do not call light what merely glows, but cannot guide you home. Come back to the place where the fire once burned. Examine your heart, be still, and listen to me. For if you still feel something is not right, that is the sign your heart is still alive. And I, the one who loves you, am still here, not asking for perfection, only your awakening. My beloved child, I have never placed the weight of an entire life on your small shoulders without also giving you myself to bear it with you. You were not made to live apart from the source of life. I did not create you to remember me only during gatherings, emotional moments, or times of trouble. I created you for companionship, step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment. When I said, "Follow me," it wasn't a one-time call. It was an invitation to walk with me daily. The habit of abiding in me is not a heavy burden to check off your list. It is the quiet current that sustains your soul when you're unaware. It is the breath of peace, the stream that keeps the roots of your faith from drying out. It is not just discipline, it is wisdom. It's where you are nourished, where I can speak to you before the storm comes. When you maintain this sacred rhythm, morning whispers with me, evening offerings of your heart, you're not being more religious. You are simply living as I designed you to. That rhythm is not for making you better. It's for keeping you alive. It is the invisible embrace that holds you while the world spins. It keeps your heart tender, not hardened by apathy, not withered by busyness. It keeps your ears sensitive, not choked by noise, not misled by lies. It strengthens you for what you do not yet see. The trials yet to surface, the temptations still lurking, the cracks in your soul yet to appear. In that small, daily faithfulness, I provide great protection. My child, do not overestimate your strength. Don't assume that because you stood yesterday, you'll stand today. Don't think that because you refused temptation once, you can afford to be careless now. No one is too strong to fall. No one is too wise to be deceived. What made Solomon the wisest man foolish was not a lack of talent, but a departure from my word. What caused David, a man after my heart, to fall was not that he didn't love me, but that he left the place of prayer for a season. Distance begins with neglect. I do not keep you steady through emotion. I do not sustain you through inspiration. Emotions waver, passion fades, seasons of excitement will pass. But it is your daily surrender, your morning decision to choose me, your quiet acts of devotion. These are what keep you walking firmly. When you obey in small things, I lead you to greater ones. When you persist, even when you feel nothing, I grant you strength not to give up. For faithfulness is not born from feelings. It is built through consistent choice. My child, every day is a battle, but every day is also a chance to walk with me. I'm not looking for tireless warriors. I'm looking for those who return to me each time they're weary. Not who is stronger than the rest, but who clings to me most, who will not leave my spirit, who will not stop listening. True strength is birthed in ongoing communion. It is where you are guarded, restored, taught, and led, not by your own might, but by my mercy. Feed your soul with me. Build your days around my presence, not as a guest you visit, but as a father who lives in the house. Let me be the first and final priority in your schedule. No need for lengthy rituals, just honesty, consistency, faithfulness. When you keep this habit, you are guarding your heart before the storm comes. And when all else shakes, the only thing that will remain is what has been anchored in me. You are the chosen one, and the chosen do not live by emotional cycles. The chosen live by a steady, unwavering source, me. So stay, press in, keep going. Not out of duty, but for life. Not out of fear of losing a blessing, but because your heart has learned that I am the best portion, the one that will never be taken away. My child, your soul cannot live without daily nourishment. When you stop receiving truth as living food, you are not simply pausing, you begin to weaken. And when truth fades, lies speak louder. They do not appear ugly or harsh. They come tender, reasonable, emotional, and convincing. And if you are no longer rooted deeply in my word, those lies will begin to shape you, the way you see the world, the way you judge others, and even how you name yourself. I grieve when I see some of my people living off borrowed fire. They do not hunger for my word, only for human voices. They do not seek me in silent privacy, only in the rush of spiritual crowds. They rely on someone else's raised hands to feel the Spirit, yet never sit alone with me in the secret place. They quote my word like slogans, yet their hearts are dry because they've never truly listened. They hear much, but live little. They memorize much, but let little sink deep. And day by day, they think they are near. Yet they're living off reflected light, not the true light that comes from me. But this is not what I desire. I do not come to be worshipped by habit or ritual. I do not want your eyes on me only during services, then turning away the rest of the week. I want your heart, your real life, unfiltered, not dressed up in religious masks, not just the best version you try to present. I want your attention, not what's left after you've been busy with everything else. I want to be first, not squeezed in. For if you don't come to me daily, not once a week, not only when in need, but daily, you will be shaped by the world without even knowing. It will mold you in its image subtly and steadily. It will seep into your thinking, your words, your choices, and your instincts. You will begin to think like it, speak like it, and live like it. And the most dangerous part, you won't even realize you've changed. You'll begin to call love what I call compromise. You'll fear offending people more than losing my presence. You'll see truth as harsh and emotional indulgence as kindness. You'll avoid truth in the name of goodness. And in that place, you'll think you're still standing while your feet have quietly stepped off the rock without even realizing. It is not that I have distanced myself from you, but you have forgotten the way home. It is not that I am silent, but you have allowed hundreds of other voices to crowd in and drown mine out. It is not that I have abandoned you, but you have stopped nurturing the habit of walking with me bit by bit, day by day. A relationship cannot survive on memory alone. Love is not strong enough if it exists only in nostalgia. And when crisis comes, you will panic, not because I am absent, but because you have lost the ability to recognize my presence. You will seek me but not know where to begin. You will feel lost in your own life, not because I have changed, but because you have traded me away. You gave the time that should have been mine to things that cannot save you. When the night falls, you uprooted yourself from where I had planted you to chase a land more livable but barren to the soul. My child, I write these words upon your heart today, not to condemn, but to awaken. Because there is still time, there is still a chance to return. There is still a way home if you are willing to lay down what has filled your heart. Do not live off someone else's fire. Do not build your faith upon teaching alone without personally walking with me. Eat my word. Drink from the living water. Dig deep. Strengthen your roots. Do not wait for the storm to come before learning to recognize my voice. Do not wait for your soul to run dry before seeking living water. Do not live off echoes. Live in my presence. I have never stopped calling you, and I have never stopped loving you, even when you no longer seek me. My child, when I warn you, it is not to shame you. I do not delight in seeing you bow your head in guilt or fear of rejection. I do not speak heavy words to drive you away, but to cause you to pause in time. My warnings always come from love, from the deep longing of a father who sees clearly what you do not. I do not warn you because you are a failure, but because you are precious. You matter so much that I cannot look the other way. You carry within you a piece of my purpose, and for that reason, I cannot let you drift into darkness unnoticed. Time is no longer abundant, my child. Darkness no longer hesitates. It boldly marches into human lives, seizing every thought, every choice, every rhythm. The world will not wait for you to think it over. Truth and falsehood relentlessly vie for space within your heart. So make room for me, not just in designated hours, not just in the early mornings or late night prayers, but in every moment of your life, every glance, every decision. Let me be your first thought upon waking and your final breath of peace before sleep. Not because I want to control every step, but because I long to walk with you. I don't want to be part of your day. I want to be its center. Let my word shape the lens through which you see everything. When you look at people through my word, you will see them with mercy. When you view circumstances through my word, you will find hope. When you see yourself through my word, you will no longer live in shame or pride, but walk in understanding and humility. But if you do not let my word guide you, the world will. There is no neutral ground. There is no spiritual gray zone. Every habit, no matter how small, is either drawing you closer to me or slowly pulling you away without warning. Do not underestimate the things you repeat each day. A rushed prayer, a postponed reading of scripture, a careless glance, an unchecked choice. They all carry weight. Not because I'm tallying faults, but because spiritual life is not built on grand moments, but on small, repeated steps. These seemingly insignificant acts are shaping you. The direction of your soul does not turn in epic battles, but in 1,000 quiet decisions to love me when no one sees. I know there are days when you are weary, mornings when your heart is dry, nights of prayer that seem to echo back in silence. I am not far. I am only quiet so that something deeper may be sown. In the silence, I am doing unseen work, shaping your soul, forming your faith, training your heart to be faithful beyond feelings. I have not abandoned you. On the contrary, when you feel me least, I am closest, like the potter leaning and tenderly shaping his work in the most delicate stage. Do not give up in the middle of the process. Even if you see no results yet, you are being formed. Fruit does not bloom overnight. It needs time, light tending, and endurance. And even if today you see nothing, it does not mean nothing is happening. I have planted seeds of life in you, and they are growing silently. In due season, you will look back and see every drop of spiritual sweat, every quiet act of obedience. Every time you chose me over compromise, none of it was in vain. My child, keep walking forward, not by feelings, but by conviction. Not because you see results, but because you know I am at work. Keep your heart tender. Keep listening. Keep the flame alive, even if it's small. For I who called you will also sustain you. And when everything around you grows dim, it is my nearness that will be your guiding light. Make room for me, not just a part, but your all. Because when you have me, you have everything needed to live, to stand, and to finish your race. My child, listen to my words. They are both an invitation and a warning. I am calling my people back to discipline, not a lifeless rigidity born of fear or formality, but a holy devotion birthed from reverent love. I am seeking hearts that don't just run to me for solutions, but build their entire lives around me. A living temple where I can dwell and burn with the eternal fire of the Spirit. I am inviting you to reclaim space for me, to take back the ground you've unintentionally filled with busyness, burdens, demands, and hollow pleasures. Turn off every noise, not just the outer clamor, but the inner echoes that drown me out. Come and rest in me, not to do more, but to be renewed. Not to serve better, but to live deeply, truly in my presence, as it was in the beginning. You pray for revival. You weep at the dryness within my house, within your community, within your own heart. But child, revival is not an event. It is a habit. A great flame cannot exist without small sparks ignited daily. If you do not return to me in the secret place, if you do not rebuild the altar of your life with simple, steady obedience, then revival will remain a beautiful idea. Revival begins with personal habits. With early mornings when you rise before the world to hear my whisper, with the moments you close the door, stop scrolling, and read my word with your whole heart, with small, faithful acts unseen by others but seen by me. You long to see fire fall from heaven, but forget that fire falls only on the altar, and the altar must be built every day. No miracle is born from carelessness. No life can thrive on the bricks of indifference. You want to see me move in power, but I want to see you obey in silence. That is the first miracle. A heart that submits, endures, and chooses me, even when no one sees, when no one applauds. Some among you have grown cold without realizing it, because coldness does not shock. It creeps in like a silent breeze, quietly draining the soul's warmth. You still sing, still gather, still speak of me, but your heart has wandered. You still pray, but your prayers no longer come from the deep places. You glance at me in haste, but no longer with the gaze of a lover, of one who waits. You speak my name out of habit, but no longer walk in my truth with trembling. My child, that is not enough. I did not die to win half a heart. I did not rise again to be tucked into a corner of your life, a spiritual ornament for your comfort. I gave all. I withheld nothing. I loved to the end. And true love will not accept being shared. I do not demand perfection, but I do demand wholeness, a heart not divided, a life not fragmented. I am not part of your priority list. I am the source. You were once the place where I dwelled sweetly, but now I knock and find distraction, fatigue, compromise. I see lamps with no oil. I see altars left in disrepair, yet I have not walked away. I still wait, waiting for you to rebuild, waiting for you to clear away every other thing and place me first again. Waiting not just for emotional devotion, but for decisions, for action, for a schedule, for every moment lived honestly with me. This is the time, and this is the call. This is the warning, but also the opportunity for restoration. Rebuild the altar, refill the oil, rekindle the flame. Lay aside the habits that have drained you. Return to holy devotion, not because I need anything from you, but because your very soul needs me to live. My child, I am waiting, not to count your faults but to fill you, not to judge but to restore. I have given you everything, and now I gently whisper, my beloved, give it all back to me. My beloved child, I am calling my people back to discipline, not a rigid, soulless kind, but a holy dedication full of love and life. I am calling you to let go of distractions, to silence the noise that dims my voice so you may enter into stillness and rest in me. In that stillness, I not only heal you, I renew you. I reset your priorities. I teach you the rhythm of heaven amid a chaotic world. Not in the bustle, not in dazzling success, but in quiet daily obedience, I perform my miracles. You ask for revival, but true revival does not begin in the crowd. It begins in the secret room where no one sees. You long for fire, but fire falls only on the altar, and the altar must be built through personal faithfulness. That altar is not a public platform, but the place where you willingly lay yourself down every single day. Without an altar, there is no fire. Without surrender, there is no power. You long to see miracles, but I long to see obedience. Not in the grand gestures, but in the small steps along the narrow way, the path I walk before you. Some among you have grown cold without knowing. You did not turn away in one big moment, but in a series of small choices lacking desire. You still pray, still serve, still speak my name, but your heart is no longer in it. You've grown used to my presence as background, no longer the most precious part. You glance at me when needed, but no longer lift your eyes with love. You mention me, but no longer tremble at my holiness. And I say to you, that is not enough. I did not die to win half your heart. I did not rise again to be pushed to the margins of your life. I gave everything, and I demand everything in return, not because I am selfish, but because I know that anything you keep apart from me will destroy you. You cannot love light and darkness both. You cannot pray for freedom while clinging to chains. You cannot call me Lord and live as though I am an accessory. You cannot serve two masters. One day you will have to choose, not just once in life, but every day, every hour, every moment. You are living in an age where countless things compete for your attention. Everything you see, hear, and think demands a piece of your heart. But I will not compete. I will not force my way in. I wait for you to choose me willingly, completely, and undivided. The path I call you to walk is not broad, nor is it easy. It is narrow. It is demanding. It comes with a price. The price is the surrender of self, the laying down of comfort, the relinquishing of things that seem harmless, yet cloud your spiritual sight. But my child, this is the path that leads to life, not only eternal life, but true life here and now. Freedom, wholeness, peace that surpasses all understanding. It is the path I myself have walked. And if you look closely, you'll see my footprints still marking the way. The broad road is easy to travel. It welcomes you with comfort. It does not require watchfulness. It does not ask you to carry a cross, but it leads to destruction. Not always loudly, but through a slow, hollow emptiness. The narrow road is different. Few choose it, not because it is hidden, but because it requires focus. It demands daily alertness. It asks for surrender in the unseen places. But I promise I will never call you onto that road alone. You cannot walk the narrow road without me. Don't try. Don't attempt to move forward in your own strength. You'll grow weary, you'll stumble, you'll lose your way. But if you hold my hand, if you obey step by step, if you learn to love what is right even when it is hard, I will renew your strength. I will teach you how to rise on wings like eagles. I will take you where you never thought you could go, not because you are strong enough, but because you chose to walk with me. Choose today whom you will serve, not just with your lips, but with your actions. Not just once, but daily. Not only in special moments, but in the ordinary rhythm of life. Choose me, for I chose you before the foundation of the world. And no choice you make for me is meaningless. Every choice echoes into eternity. My beloved, I do not force you. I do not compete with the world for your heart. Though I am God, I have limited myself by love. True love does not bind, it invites. I created you in my image, and part of that image is the power to choose. I give you the freedom to draw near or stay distant, to listen or ignore, to soften your heart or harden it. And it is in that freedom that your love is tested, not by words, but by priority. Each day you are planting something. You are nurturing either light or darkness. There is no middle ground, no neutral space. What you tend will thrive. What you neglect will wither. If you feed on my word, you will bear fruit. If you treasure my presence like a hidden treasure, the fire within you will never go out. But if you let dust settle on the holy place of your heart, if you delay, if you only come to me in crisis, you are losing the most precious thing you have, your communion with me. The flame does not go out all at once. It dims gradually with each day, each week, each quiet neglect. At first, you still feel the longing. Then slowly you feel dry, and soon you grow accustomed to the dryness. Then you no longer realize when the flame went out. My heart aches not because you are weak, but because you think that weakness is normal. I grieve, not because you lost your way, but because you stopped trying to return. But my child, if you draw near to me, truly near, not just in emotion, but in surrender, every day, every hour, every moment, you will be kept not by your effort, but by my faithfulness. You will walk in the light even in a dark age. You will have wisdom that does not come from books, but from heaven. I will show you what to avoid and lead you into what to pursue. I will strengthen you when you are tired. I will place in you a joy that rises above circumstances, a joy the world did not give and cannot take away. But you must choose today, not once in a lifetime, but every day. Choose to invest in the eternal instead of the temporary. Choose to listen for me even in the silence. Choose to seek me even when your mind is overwhelmed. Rebuild the altar. It doesn't need to be grand, only sincere. You don't have to climb a mountain to meet me. All I need is a humble heart and a quiet moment. Don't wait until crisis drives you to me. By then the oil in your lamp may be gone. Your heart may be tired, Your spirit may be accustomed to life without light. I am not your last resort. I am your foundation. Build your life upon me now. Even if everything else collapses, your life in me will remain. When you give me your time, it's not wasted. It's an investment in your soul. I am the one who multiplies the little you offer. 1 hour given to me in faithfulness can shape a generation. One quiet prayer can break chains in someone else's life. One small act of obedience can become a miracle. Never underestimate what you do in me. You don't need to be great for me to use you. You only need to be present, faithful here. Every day I guard what you entrust to me. I protect what you build on the solid rock that is me, and I reward not perfection but perseverance. No one walks with me and ends in disappointment. No one gives up the temporary for me and suffers loss. I am the greatest reward, and to those who seek me faithfully, I will give what they dared not ask. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. So my child, choose me today. Come back if you've wandered. Rebuild the altar if it's been broken. Rekindle the flame if it's gone dim. I am waiting, not with arms of judgment, but with arms ready to embrace you. Not to condemn, but to restore. Not to remind you of what you've done wrong, but to lead you back to what is right, to me. My beloved one, let your roots go deep, not in emotion, not in fleeting experiences, but in my unchanging truth. What only grows on the surface will be swept away when the winds shift. But the soul that hides itself in me will not be shaken when the world trembles. Keep your heart tender before me, for only in humility can my word take root and bear fruit. A hardened heart rejects correction, resists conviction, and loses its ability to be moved by my presence. And my child, keep your ears open, not just to what is pleasing, but also to the truth that brings repentance, transformation, and return. This world will call to you with many voices, opportunities, applause, new definitions of success and happiness. But only one thing is needed: to sit at my feet, silent and listening. Not to listen so you can do, but to listen so you can be transformed. Not a one-time hearing, but a life lived in continual listening. From that place where you lower yourself and acknowledge that I alone am worthy, every other stream of life will flow. From there, you will learn to discern between eternal truth and counterfeit imitations clothed in religion or reason. From there, you will have peace beyond understanding, even as the world shakes. You will walk in clarity while others wander in confusion, not because you are wiser, but because you have chosen the right place to sit. But be alert, my child. These days are evil. Deception is no longer simple. It is clever, polished, wrapped in persuasive reasoning and sympathetic emotion. Culture is always shifting. What was once called wrong is now labeled brave, free, and progressive, and what I call holy is now seen as outdated or even ridiculed. Do not be surprised when darkness no longer hides but steps boldly onto the stage in broad daylight. Don't wait until everyone turns their back on truth to realize you've already strayed far. Be watchful. Guard your heart. Guard your mind. Your heart is a battlefield. Your mind is a gateway. If you don't actively guard them, the enemy will sow seeds of distorted thoughts. He doesn't need to drag you into obvious sin. He only needs to make you doubt the truth little by little. Root yourself daily in my word. Don't live by feelings or by trends. Hold fast to what does not change in a world that never stops changing. Otherwise, you will be swept away, not because you are weak, but because you were unguarded. Don't assume you'll stand firm today, just because you stood firm yesterday. Faith is not something you gain once and keep forever unchanged. It must be nourished, trained, and protected. Yesterday's faith is not enough for today's battle. Yesterday's manna, though once sweet, cannot feed you in today's hunger. I give daily bread not to be stored, but to draw you back each morning. I want to meet with you not just in emergencies, but in every steady breath of life. I don't want to be your last stop, but your daily companion. Beloved, don't let your familiarity with me lead to complacency. Don't let temporary comfort dull your vigilance. And don't mistake false peace as my presence if you are no longer listening. I am the only source that can keep you. And if you keep returning to me, even weary, even dry, even weak, I will do the rest. I will keep you. I will lead you. I will give you enough manna for today. Seek me each day as though it were the very last breath of your life. Let no sunrise pass without your soul turning toward me, without your heart once more resting in the gentle presence of my spirit. Do not wait until darkness closes in, until worry and fear have crept into every corner of your heart before you come rushing to me. I do not desire you to come only in desperation, nor to treat me as a lifeline you grasp only when you are drowning. Come to me while the sky is still blue, while sunlight still stretches across the paths before you, while your heart remains soft and unscarred by the hardness of life. Come while your eyes still shine with hope, while the door of your heart is still open to receive my breath and my light. Speak with me, not as a rigid ritual, not because it is something you must do in your faith, but because you know that without me, you would lose your direction, your vitality, and your ability to discern the path of truth. Let every word you speak to me flow from the deepest place in your soul, where no masks of pretense remain, where there is only the raw honesty of a child before their father. Ask me to give you new eyes, a vision that reaches far beyond what you have ever known. Your old vision may have carried you through the days gone by, but it is not enough to lead you into the new horizons I am preparing. You cannot step into a new season with the same worn-out sight, nor reap fresh harvests by sowing seeds in old ways. I long to open your eyes, to see things you have never dared to imagine, to walk paths you never believed you could walk. In the same way, ask me to kindle within you a new flame. The old flame may have warmed you in winter's chill, may have lit your way through the darkest nights, but over time it may have faded without your noticing. There may be embers that seem to glow but have lost their heat. You need a new fire, not to replace your old love, but to blaze even brighter, to burn away all stagnation, to drive out the thick fog that has settled upon your soul. Do not think that yesterday's strength is enough for today's battles. Each day brings new challenges, new storms, and new battles, and the enemy will not use the same strategies as before. You cannot walk into the field with weapons worn down and a shield chipped away. You need new strength, not from muscle or willpower alone, but from my presence, my protection, and my guidance. This is the strength no power can take from you. My child, do not let your heart grow callous from wounds, nor let your mind grow weary from failures. Each time you fall, rise and seek me, for I am the hand that will lift you from the mire. Each time you lose your way, pause and listen, for my voice will come like a whispering wind through the desert, guiding you home. I am never far from you, but you must learn to seek me, because if you do not, you will be swept into the noise and forgetfulness of this world. I want you to understand that your relationship with me is not that of a beggar and a giver. It is the bond of love. When you seek me daily, you are strengthening a cord that no trial can break, that no hardship can sever. I do not only give you what you need, I give you my very self. And when you have me, you will lack nothing, for all fullness flows from this source of life. There will be days when seeking me feels effortless, like the cool wind over the fields, like the sunlight upon your face. But there will also be days when seeking me is a battle, when your mind is filled with anxious thoughts, when your prayers seem to touch only empty space. On such days, I am still there. Do not give up. Keep walking, for every step toward me, no matter how small, carries the power to transform your life. Let your time with me be a priority, not the leftovers of your day. Do not give me what remains after the world has drained all your strength and attention. Offer me your purest, your best, like a craftsman bringing his finest work to the king, not a leftover piece unfit for the palace. And as you seek me consistently, you will find not only your vision, your fire, and your strength renewed, but you yourself transformed from within. You will no longer be easily shaken by criticism, nor swayed by the shifting winds of life. You will walk with a peace the world cannot understand, and with a confidence not from yourself but from the living one within you. My child, I do not call you to me only so you may receive blessings, but so you will know that I myself am the greatest blessing of all. Seeking me is not a duty. It is a privilege, for not everyone is given the grace to know me, and fewer still open their hearts for me to enter. When you seek me, you step into a communion that once tasted, you will never wish to leave. So do not wait today. While you still hear my voice, answer. While your heart still stirs at these words, come. Do not postpone until a tomorrow you are not promised. I am waiting for you, and I have never stopped waiting. I am the one who gives generously, like a waterfall that never runs dry, like the sun that never ceases to shine. When I give fully, without hesitation, without holding anything back for myself. My heart knows no reluctance, and my hands never cling in regret. Every blessing, every grace I pour out flows like a river, running endlessly toward the sea. I do not ask you to pay a price, nor demand an offering great enough to be worthy of it. Yet, my child, there is one thing I long to see from you, that you open your mouth to ask, open your heart to seek, and stretch out your hand to knock. It is not because I am harsh or stingy, nor because I wish to keep my distance so you feel small or unimportant. I love you enough to invite you into a journey, not for you to stand still and simply receive. I want to see your eyes light up with longing, to hear your heartbeat echo with expectation. When you ask, I see your recognition that I am the source of all you need. When you seek, I know you have chosen me above countless other paths. When you knock, I know you believe that behind the door lies the life and peace that only I can give. You may wonder, if you already know what I need, why must I still ask? Because asking is not only about receiving, it is about placing your heart in the right posture. In asking, you learn humility. You learn to admit that you cannot supply everything for yourself. I do not need you to prove your capability. I need you to realize that dependence on me is not weakness, but your greatest strength. The same is true of seeking. I do not hide myself to tease you, nor do I make things difficult to discourage you. But in seeking, you learn patience. You learn to let your eyes look beyond the glittering, empty things of the surface and toward what holds true worth. Seeking teaches you to discern my voice among the thousands of clashing sounds in this noisy world. And when you find me, the joy will be far greater than if the answer had been placed in your hand without you ever taking a step. And then comes knocking. The door does not always open immediately. There are doors at which you must stand longer than you expect, with more persistence than you first imagined. It is not because I wish to frustrate you, but because in every moment you wait, you are learning to trust. I want you to know that every time you continue to knock, you are declaring to the world and to yourself that you believe I will open at the right time, in the right way, and that no one but I can do it. My child, I know that what comes too easily is often forgotten. A gift given without any journey of faith can end up pushed into a corner gathering dust. But what you receive through a walk of steadfastness, through long days of waiting, through tears, through tireless prayers, will become a treasure you hold close to your heart. When you look back, you will remember not only the gift itself, but the way I held your hand through the entire path toward it. I want you to understand that the true worth is not in the gift itself, but in the love woven through the process. In the waiting, that love deepens. In the seeking, the bond grows stronger. In the knocking without ceasing, faith becomes unshakable. And all of this makes the gift so precious that you will never let it slip from your grasp. There will be times when you grow weary. You will think that asking, seeking, and knocking is useless, that no one hears, that no one opens. But remember, even before you see, I am already at work. When you ask, I begin preparing. When you seek, I place the signs along your path. When you knock, I am already behind the door, waiting for the perfect moment to open it. And you must know this. What I give you through this process is not only the gift you desire, but the transformation within you. In asking, you learn humility. In seeking, you sharpen your focus on what truly matters. In knocking, you are shaped into steadfastness, not easily swayed. All of this prepares you not only to receive, but to keep what I give. Many want to receive, but do not want to wait. They want to find, but not take the steps to search. They want the door to open, but they will not knock. They believe that a short prayer is enough to move all of heaven. Yet they do not understand that what I desire is a heart that refuses to give up, even when the answer does not come immediately. For true love does not walk away when it must wait. True faith does not vanish when the search lasts longer than expected. True longing does not fall silent when it has yet to be fulfilled. My child, ask not only once, but until it is given. Seek not only for a day, but until your eyes behold what I have promised. Knock not only in moments of zeal, but even when your hand grows weary. For I hear every sound. I see every drop of sweat. I feel every beat of your heart. And when the time comes, I will open not just one door, but an entire new way. I want you to step into abundance, not as someone who stumbled upon it by chance, but as one who has labored to find it and knows its worth. I want what you receive to be a testimony of faith, so that when you tell your story, you will say, I asked, I sought, I knocked, and he opened to me. Then your story will awaken hope in others so that they too begin their own journey. Above all, remember this. I am never late, but I am never in a hurry. I do all things in perfect timing, and I am inviting you to learn to live in that rhythm. You do not need to strive or be anxious, only to remain faithful. Keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking, and believe that the same hands that hold the universe are at work for you. My beloved child, I did not create you to merely drag yourself through each day like one exhausted, struggling just to survive. I did not call you so that you would quietly sigh, counting the hours and minutes, hoping only to make it through without being struck down. My purpose for your life is not just enough to get by. I formed you for something greater, deeper, stronger, to walk as one who overcomes. But the victory I speak of is not measured by the cheers of the crowd or the admiration of the world. It is not a victory sealed in a shiny trophy or a long list of accomplishments. The victory I have for you is born within, from the depths of your soul, where you know without question that no matter how fierce the storm, you still stand firm. You still hold your peace. You remain unmoved. This victory does not come from your own fragile strength, but from the unfailing power of the one who lives and works within you. I know your strength has limits. I know there will be days when you are so weary you want to give up. But it is in those very moments of weakness that my strength is revealed most clearly. You do not need to strain to prove yourself strong. You need only to cling tightly to me and let me be the power that holds you up. When you let me fight on your behalf, you will discover that victory is no longer a burden you must conquer alone, but a gift freely given from unconditional love. My child, I did not call you to dissolve into the flow of this world, to become an unnamed face in a sea of people. I did not design you to fit in by abandoning your true nature, losing the voice and the light I placed within you. The world may urge you to be just like everyone else to be accepted, but I have called you to be different so that you might bring transformation. I have called you to shine. Yet this light is not for self-display, not for standing high above others so they feel small. This light is kindled to drive away darkness, to guide wandering feet back to the path of life. It is not a blinding glare that wounds, but the gentle light of compassion, the warm light of hope, the steady light of truth. You will stand out, not because you try to place yourself above others, but because of holiness, a difference that flows from within, not from outward show or boastful words. This holiness is like a fragrance, subtle yet lasting, so that those who come near you sense my presence without you needing to say much at all. And you will stand firm, not because you are smarter, more skilled, or stronger than those around you, but because your roots have been driven deep into me. Like a great tree in an open field, though storms may strip many leaves and branches, the roots remain unmoved, anchored into the endless source of life. When you are rooted in me, the storms of life will only make you stronger, never destroy you. Do not misunderstand. I have not called you to avoid all trials, but to overcome them as one who is victorious. I have not promised to flatten every mountain in your path, but I have promised to give you strong feet to climb each peak. I have not promised to remove every storm, but I have promised to be with you in every downpour. And it is in these very battles that you will see. Victory is not just a destination, but a daily journey with me. The victory I give will make you different. While many seek power to prove themselves, you will use the power I give to serve and lift others. While many use wisdom for their own gain, you will use the wisdom from me to bring life and healing to those around you. My child, I know there will be times when the world pressures you to blend in, to stay silent, to hide your light, but I have placed in you a flame that no force can extinguish. This flame is not only to light your own way, but to warm those who shiver in the dark. Do not fear being different. Do not tremble when you must stand alone. For when you stand on my foundation, you are never truly alone. Remember, I have not called you merely to survive the storms, but to learn to steer your vessel through the waves with a peace the world cannot take away. I do not only want you to get through each day, I want you to live each moment fully with joy, even when circumstances are far from perfect. The victory I give will not make you proud, because you will know it did not come from you. It will make you more humble. For each triumph will remind you that I fought for you, and that very humility will make your light shine brighter. For the world is longing for those who do not lift themselves up, but willingly bend down to lift others. I have not called you to be a copy of anyone else, but to be the one-of-a-kind person I designed from the very beginning. Every detail in you, from your voice to your way of thinking to the deepest dreams in your heart, was crafted by me to fit the mission only you can fulfill. When you try to blend in so much that you lose your true nature, you lose the very purpose I gave you. But when you boldly live as you were made to be, that light will not only illuminate your own path, but open the way for many others to follow. My child, remember that victory is not always loud. Sometimes victory is keeping your peace in the midst of chaos. Sometimes victory is choosing forgiveness instead of retaliation. Sometimes victory is continuing to believe even when the result has not yet appeared. These quiet victories to me shine brighter than any noisy celebration the world can offer. So do not live as though you are merely waiting for another day to pass. Live as one who knows they are called to overcome, to shine, to stand firm. And remember that all of this does not come from you, but from the one who lives within you, the one who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. When you walk in that awareness, each day will not be mere survival, but a living testimony to my power and unending love. My beloved child, you are called to shine in the darkness. But remember this, no lamp can burn without oil to feed the flame. And that oil, my child, cannot be found on the surface, nor can it be borrowed from another in the most crucial moments. It does not come from a fleeting burst of emotion, nor from a few seconds of inspiration in a crowded gathering, nor from the temporary stirring of a sermon that touches you only for a moment. True oil is formed over time, through days of quiet faithfulness, through moments when you keep your lamp burning even when no one is watching. It comes from mornings when you rise earlier to seek me, from nights when you kneel long after the world has fallen asleep. It is born from the times you choose prayer over complaint, trust over worry, praise over despair, even when tears still run down your face. You cannot expect to stand firm when the darkness is thick if you hold no flame in your hand. And that flame, my child, no one else can light for you. It does not come from outward noise or activity, but from the innermost place of your soul, where there is only you and me. It is a secret room no one else can enter, where every layer of pretense is stripped away, where you wear no masks, hide no wounds, only a bare soul seeking true life. Their oil is pressed out through patience. Fire is lit through surrender, not when you feel strong, but often when you are worn out. Not when you are praised by others, but when you remain faithful in the unseen. Oil is not the result of outward victories, but the reward of inward battles, where you say yes even when everything in you wants to quit, where you carry your cross daily, though no one sees and no one thanks you. My child, oil cannot be rushed. It is the product of long days of faithfulness in small things. Just as the olive tree must grow for years before producing full ripe fruit, and those olives must then be crushed to release their purest oil, so your life must be shaped, refined, and tested. It is not a short road, but it is a sure one. And the flame, the fire that keeps your light shining, does not appear by chance. It comes from staying close to me, from the warmth of my presence in every moment of your life. When you remain near me, the flame is fueled. When you drift from me, it will fade. No one can keep the fire burning for you, and no one can hand you the flame they have kept. And true fire only ignites when you enter into personal communion with me yourself. You must understand, oil and fire cannot be bought at the last minute. Many throughout history have believed that a quick prayer or a token act of religion would be enough to prepare them, only to find, when the hour of testing came, that their oil was gone and their lamps were out. My child, do not let this be you. Do not live off yesterday's light. Let your oil be renewed daily, so that your flame never fades. This will not always be easy. There will be days you are tired and want to set everything aside. Mornings when you see no reason to keep seeking me. Nights when you kneel and feel your prayers bounce off the ceiling. But in those moments you are being trained in steadfastness. You are pressing out oil. You are protecting your flame. Remember, oil is not only to keep your own lamp burning. It is to light the way for others groping in the dark. Fire is not only to warm your own heart. It is to bring comfort to those shivering in the cold. This world is filled with darkness, and many do not know they need light until they see it. When you guard your oil and your fire, you become a living witness to my power and my love. And when I look at you, it is not only in the moments when you stand among the crowd, but in the times you choose me over ease alone. I see your whispered yes in the middle of the night. I hear your sigh when you stay faithful, though no one praises you. I notice every drop of sweat, every tear, every small act you do purely out of love for me. All these become oil, become fire, become light, ready to shine at the exact moment I have appointed. My child, do not be deceived into thinking that emotional highs are enough to sustain faith. No, faith is nurtured in the valleys, not just on the mountaintops. Your lamp is kept burning not by sudden sparks, but by oil poured in daily. You may start with a blaze of brilliance, but if you do not tend your oil and your fire, the light will fade before the journey is done. I do not want you to burn brightly for a short time and then vanish like a firework. I want you to endure like the lamp in the temple, never going out day or night. And to be that, you must learn to remain near me continually, so your oil never runs dry, your flame never weakens. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. My child, step into the secret place. Just you and me. Let the noise outside grow still until you hear my whisper in your soul. Let your oil be pressed out from that stillness. Let your flame be kindled from that intimacy. Live this way, and you will shine not only in the easy days, but brightest in the deepest night. And when the world sees that light, they will not be able to help but ask, where did this flame come from? And then you will smile because you know it came from the hidden place between you and me, where my love and my power transformed your life forever. My beloved child, there is one truth you must carve deep into your heart. The cross is not a distant memory, not a single heroic moment you experience once in your life and then move on. It is not a fleeting act after which you return to life as before. The cross is an invitation to a journey, a decision renewed every day, every hour, even every minute. Carrying the cross is not merely the memory of a grand day when you surrendered yourself to me. It is the very breath of each day you live. It is not the dazzling peak of a few emotional moments, but the long stretch of days when you faithfully choose me over yourself, even when no one sees, no one applauds, and no triumphant music plays. Each time you place me above your own desires and preferences, you are carrying the cross. When you are willing to give up what you want in order to do what I want, even if it costs you something your heart once craved deeply, that is when the wood of the cross rests upon your shoulder. No one else can do this for you. It is a personal journey where each of your steps is shaped by love and surrender. Sometimes the cross feels heavy, not because of outward circumstances, but because it requires you to overcome yourself. When you have the right to answer a hurtful word but choose silence, when you could speak to defend your honor but choose to keep peace and let me be your defender. When you face someone who has wounded you deeply with every reason to hold on to resentment, yet you choose forgiveness, that is not weakness, my child, but true strength. The strength of placing me at the center instead of your own self. Carrying the cross also means choosing truth, even when it costs you comfort, even when it costs relationships or opportunities you treasure. This world will always invite you to compromise, offering easier paths, but those paths will lead you away from my will. When you choose the narrow road, sometimes rugged, sometimes lonely, you are carrying the cross with me. My child, it is in these hidden choices that precious oil is produced. No oil is pressed from an unbroken olive. It must be crushed to release what is pure within. In the same way, when you lay down your rights, when you allow me to smooth the rough edges of your soul, the oil that fuels the flame is formed. This is oil that cannot be bought with money, cannot be borrowed from another, but only comes through your own surrender and trust in me. From that oil, the flame begins to burn. This flame is not like the quick sparks born of emotion. It is not the bright but fleeting blaze of excitement. It is a steady fire burning unceasingly, even through the longest nights. It is sustained not by the cheers of the crowd, but by whispered yeses in the secret place. You may think the flame is small at first, only a flicker. But do not despise small beginnings, my child. The true flame needs no noise to prove its presence. It only needs to burn faithfully day by day. And when your oil is continually replenished by daily acts of carrying the cross, that flame will grow strong enough to light not only your own path, but also the steps of those groping in darkness. I know that carrying the cross daily is not easy. It will tire you. It will require you to give up things you love, sometimes even things you believe you need to be happy. It will make you different, and sometimes that difference will cause you to be misunderstood or isolated. But on this path, you will find me closer than ever before. You will learn to lean on my strength, not your own. You will discover that true joy is not found in fulfilling every desire, but in knowing you are living fully in the will of the one who created you. Each day you carry the cross, you etch an eternal mark into your soul. You will see yourself changing, less quick to anger, less proud, less clinging to what is temporary. Instead, you will become more patient, more humble, and more full of love. Not because you are trying to be a better person, but because I am living in you and transforming you through each step of carrying the cross. And my child, when you faithfully walk this way, your light cannot be hidden. People may not know the cost of your hidden sacrifices, but they will sense the difference in you. They will see a peace that cannot be stolen, a stability that cannot be shaken, a love that does not depend on how others treat you. This is the light that comes from a flame fed by the oil of surrender. So do not look for a single heroic moment after which you return to life unchanged. Live as though every day is an opportunity to say yes to me, to choose me over yourself, to place me above every desire and personal plan. With each such day, your oil will grow fuller, your flame will shine brighter, and your life will become a living testimony to my love and my power. My child, I am not searching for perfect people. I am searching for willing hearts. And when I find one who is willing to carry the cross each day, I have found a lamp that will never go out. My child, stop and listen closely to my voice today. I say to you, do not delay. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not comfort yourself with the thought that when things are better, you will begin. Do not wait until you feel ready, for if readiness depends on feelings alone, it will never come. This life will always give you reasons to postpone, always present circumstances that make you think you must wait a little longer. But my child, the best time is not when the storm has passed. It is right now while the wind still blows strong. Today is the day I have given you, a day that cannot be replaced, a day that will never come again. Today is the opportunity for you to return, to begin anew, to lay a fresh foundation for the journey ahead. Today is the day of salvation, not because it is coincidence or luck, but because I myself have appointed it for you. Every breath you take is an invitation for me to step into true life. Do not let yourself be trapped in the illusion that only when everything is perfect can you begin. My child, there will never be ideal circumstances in this world. There will always be obstacles, always unfinished matters, always headwinds. But it is precisely when you begin in imperfect conditions that you will see me work miracles on barren ground. You will learn that it is not external conditions that determine your ability to move forward, but the decision in your heart and the strength from the one who is with you. Choose to act today, even when your emotions do not urge you forward. Do not be led by the waves of feeling, for emotions rise and fall like the tide. They may spark a flame for a moment, but without a foundation, that flame will die when the wind changes direction. Emotion is a good companion when it walks alongside discipline. But if you depend on it to start, you will remain still whenever it leaves you. Replace fleeting bursts of inspiration with steady habits. Habits are like small bricks laid in place each day, seemingly insignificant. Yet over time, they form a strong wall against every storm. When you maintain small but consistent actions, they will become part of you, enabling you to stand firm even when feelings shift. My child, I do not seek brief, brilliant bursts that fade quickly. I seek endurance, faithfulness in each small step. I see and treasure every moment you choose to continue when no one encourages you. Every morning you pray, though your heart feels dry. Every time you do what is right, though no one notices. These things you consider small are the very things that bring joy to heaven. Faithfulness is something this world often undervalues because it is not flashy, not attention-grabbing, not instantly rewarded. But in my eyes, faithfulness is a rare jewel, a fragrance that delights me. People may measure you by your achievements, but I look at how you live when no one is watching. People may remember public victories, but I etch into my heart the moments you quietly persist out of love for me. Remember, a seed does not grow because of one heavy rain, but because of steady drops of water day after day. In the same way, your spiritual life will not endure if it is fed only by a few intense emotional moments. It must be cultivated by daily habits: prayer, reading my word, listening for my voice, obeying in the small things. When you are faithful in these, your roots will go deep. And when the storm comes, you will not be uprooted. I know maintaining discipline is not always easy. There will be days you feel tired, busy, and discouraged. There will be times you think skipping today won't matter. But it is precisely then that you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to endurance and true strength. The other to compromise that slowly weakens your flame. Every small decision shapes the person you are becoming. When you choose faithfulness, you are investing in a future you cannot yet see in full. Like a farmer sowing without yet seeing sprouts, you keep tending the soil, trusting that harvest will come. And my child, I promise you, no drop of sweat, no act of faithfulness for my sake is ever overlooked. Everything you do out of love for me, no matter how small, is remembered and will bear fruit in my appointed time. Do not let the silence of the present fool you into thinking nothing is happening. While you are faithful in the small things, I am quietly building a firm foundation within you. And when the time comes, what I have planted in you will burst forth like springtime, and others will marvel at your steadfastness. But you and I will know it is the result of quiet days and unseen habits kept when no one was looking. So my child, do not wait. Do not let hesitation steal the opportunity of today. Do not think tomorrow will be easier, for tomorrow is only a promise not yet given. Today is the gift I have placed in your hands, and I invite you to use it to start again, to rebuild, to walk in faithfulness. Remember, I do not expect you to do everything in one day, but I do expect you to do one right thing today, then tomorrow another. And so, day by day, you will find you have gone farther than you imagined. And when you look back, you will see a journey woven from thousands of small, faithful moments, and you will smile knowing each step has brought me joy. Today is yours, my child. Choose me now. Choose habit over fleeting feeling. Choose faithfulness over chasing after bursts of excitement that fade. For it is the small, steady things that will keep you standing when storms arise. And these are the very things that bring me more delight than anything else. Choose my voice over the noise of the world. My voice whispers, yet it is true, gentle, yet full of power. The voice of the world is loud but hollow, dazzling yet fleeting. Choose the altar, not one made of wood or stone, but the altar where your heart is laid each day, where you offer your desires, your expectations, and even your fears. Do not choose distraction to fill the emptiness, for only I can heal your soul. Only I can renew a heart that has run dry. My beloved, I am not calling you to walk alone. I am not expecting you to become mighty overnight. I only desire that you choose me today, tomorrow, and every day after. And as you choose me daily, I will do the rest. I will fill. I will lead. I will transform your ordinary life into a glorious instrument for my kingdom. Begin again today with a simple choice, a quiet prayer, a whisper. Lord, today I choose you. And heaven will go still to listen. For no act of love is ever meaningless, and no day that begins with obedience is without eternal impact. My dearest one, choose me not with a fleeting emotional decision, but with a life woven from countless rejoices and still choosing again. Choose me when your heart is full of joy, but do not forget to choose me when your soul feels cold. Choose me in the radiant light of morning, but do not abandon me in the shadowy depths of night. Choosing me is not a once-in-a-lifetime act, but a daily, hourly, moment-by-moment surrender, because it is in those very choices that your soul is formed, strengthened, and redeemed. And when you are weary, when your steps falter, when your faith hangs by a thread, remember that I am still choosing you. I have never stopped choosing you. Not even on the days you turned away. I have never withdrawn my love, not even when you stopped believing you were worthy of it. Even if you waver, lose your way, or forget who you are, I do not. I still know your name. I still have your image engraved upon the palms of my hands. And my love never changes. My arms have never been closed. But my child, love never forces. It waits, and I am waiting. Not because I am weak, but because I long for your willing heart. I long for your return, not because I need anything more, but because I want you to live in the fullness I've already prepared. I desire closeness, not through ritual, but through a living relationship. I do not wish to be merely mentioned on your lips. I want to dwell within your heart. Do not be deceived. Do not walk into darkness and convince yourself it is light simply because it feels familiar. Do not drift spiritually and reassure yourself that you're still okay. True light stirs the heart. True presence humbles the soul, and true love always calls for a true response. Do not live far from me while covering your coldness with the excuses of busyness or maturity. You were made for closeness. Come back. Don't wait until you have enough faith. Don't wait until everything is in order. Come back while your heart can still hear my gentle invitation. Stay near, not just in sacred moments, but in the rhythm of everyday life, where you learn to listen, to surrender, to love me with steadfastness, not just fleeting emotion, and do it daily. Build a life that is simple but firm, where I am the center, the heartbeat, the purpose. Let closeness with me not be a passing feeling, but a deep-rooted way of life. As you choose me faithfully, you will discover that true freedom doesn't come from getting everything you want, but from knowing to whom you belong. And in that belonging, you will live truly, not just with me, but as the person you were created to be. Now open your heart and offer your prayer to me, without hiding, without fear, only with honesty. O living God, the one who created me and still calls my name amidst the noise of 1,000 voices. I come to you today, not in haste, not out of empty religious habit, but with a heart longing to come alive again. Forgive me for the days I've ignored your voice, for the times I've said I'm fine when my soul was numb. Break through every layer of hardness within me, and place in me a spirit that is tender, repentant, and able to hear. Help me rebuild the altar each day, not with fleeting emotions, but with unwavering faithfulness. I long to hear your whisper in the early morning. I long for my soul to tremble again at the reading of your word. Lead me back, not for a visit, but to dwell in your presence. O faithful one, draw me close before my heart grows too cold to feel you. Open my eyes to see the small compromises that are leading my soul astray, to recognize the moments I've silenced the Spirit's warnings. Give me a vigilant spirit so that every choice becomes worship. Help me understand that every hour with you is never wasted, but an eternal investment. Lead me to true repentance, not stirred by emotion alone, but born from the recognition that I need you more than anything else. O Lord of revival, who sees the hidden corners I try to conceal, I ask you to enter and cleanse my life. I don't want to merely say I love you. I want to live like I do. I return to holy discipline, not out of legalism, but out of devotion. Help me rebuild the altar each day through small but faithful obedience. May your Holy Spirit remind me when I drift and uphold me when I am weak. I long to be used, but first cleanse me. I long to walk in power, but first teach me obedience. For I know that where there is surrender, there your presence dwells in strength. My child, do not let this word fade like a passing moment. What I have spoken today is not the end, it is a beginning. Each time you return here, I will meet you with fresh fire, deeper truth, and the reminder your soul longs for. Do not drift back into silence. Stay close, stay hungry, stay ready. Subscribe, return, and listen again. For the next word I release may be the very key that reignites your flame. I am not finished with you, and I will speak again. Amen.